Hello, and welcome to Tea and Cornbread, a conversation with Sean and Tracy. I am Sean,
And I'm Tracy.
and we are talking to you all that are 50 and fabulous.
And don't forget handsome.
And we want you to know that we want to get some education happening,
Yes.
some empowerment.
We want to grow with you. We want to learn with you. We want to see what you're doing, 50 and over.
So like, share, comment, follow, subscribe,
Grab your
and
tea.
grab your tea. Hey, 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 this is Tea and Cornbread. How are you? How are you?
Yes.
We haven't been in the studio for a minute, but
sure
we've been in
have
the streets
not.
though.
Yeah,
So
that too.
hopefully y'all watching
Catch
us.
one or two of those videos.
Right. So what's up, Trey? How was your
Absolutely.
weekend?
My weekend has been going just fine so far.
Okay.
What we do? Oh, we did game night
All right.
with pint-sized Diva Shire.
Yeah, right.
What else I do? Yesterday, what did I do? I really didn't do much of anything. How about you?
Let me tell you. I had yesterday off because
Okay.
we canceled the
The clean
door
up and
knocking or
yep.
whatever, right?
Yep.
But yes.
Fun
Oh,
size
fun
diva.
size diva. Okay, we got a correction from our producer.
Yes.
It's not pint size diva.
I
It's
apologize.
the fun size
Size
diva.
diva. Get it right. That's
Black
right.
Game night
Yes.
every week at House of Goats. Every other week
Yes.
in Waterbury, and the other week in what do you call it? New Britain.
New
I
Britain.
think.
Come out,
Well,
have fun. It's just fun.
Yeah, it's just fun.
Just come
Go on. Black Game Night. It's BLAQ. Yeah.
Yep.
Game night
Yes.
on Facebook, or the Fun Size Diva on Facebook.
I'm
Okay.
smiling because it's a fun time. But
It is
anyway,
a fun time.
Go
right.
ahead. You were saying.
So instead, what we did is we went for a walk up at Hot Brook, like
Okay.
hiking.
Okay.
You know, I don't know nothing about no hiking, right? So, but it was
You
nice.
survived.
I did, but I told them they were responsible for me. I said nobody knows I'm here.
So who'd you
I'm
walk
out
with?
here in the
group,
woods
your
with you.
co-op?
Yes.
Or,
Yep.
Okay.
Our my co-op team. Our co-op
Nice.
team with Melody, Alicia, and Catherine.
You made the best of it, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alicia was her idea. This was her spot, so she was able to navigate us around.
Awesome.
It was really, really nice.
Awesome.
I didn't know. I mean, I haven't been there since I was a kid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so walking through that, it was nice. It was
And it was a
really
great
nice.
day. It really turned out to be a very nice day. It
turn
really
out to be a
did.
great day.
It really
and
did.
We had great conversation, of course. You know what I
Yes.
mean, about some
Yes,
things
that's what
and
it
stuff.
is.
And so that was nice. And then that was it. I stopped by a Black Game Night on Friday.
You did. Tail end of it, but you did.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
I know.
that's
She's
all right.
busy. No, I'm
Listen,
just joking with her.
I didn't play, but I came.
Yes.
And that was basically it. And then
Yeah.
today, what do I have? Oh, today we're going to be at the Love and Care Garden
Okay.
on Burton Street. So
Time?
1:00.
Okay.
But yeah,
Okay.
1:00. So you guys are gonna see this after the fact. But
Yeah.
Love and Care Garden on Burton Street is open to the community. And so if you want to grow some food or learn how to or whatever, they have a whole program happening this summer, this season. So go on to Nest, Nest, .org, I think. I'm not positive, but just look
Yeah.
for Nest on Nest on Facebook, on social medias. If you want to learn how to garden, you want to grow something, you want to help, you want to whatever that is, just go on there and reach out to Yashua. I think I'm saying the name right. Yashua is the director of the garden.
Awesome.
So we're going to be going there, and on Tuesdays starting next week for me, next week, I'll be going there on Tuesdays I think it's open from between 11 and 1:00 or something
Okay.
like that. And so I'm going to be going there
To
weekly,
maintain, help.
weekly.
Okay. Awesome.
To help
Awesome
out because
stuff.
it's a community garden.
And that's what I was going to say. It's a community garden. Get out there, see what's going on in your neighborhood,
Yes.
and learn how to grow.
Yes. Listen, the North End Cooperative Market, right, is in collaboration with them, with the
Okay.
garden and things like that. And so our mission this year, our slogan this year is to grow food, partnerships, and ownerships.
Nice.
So come on out.
Come on out.
And look out for our events and things that's going to be happening in collaboration with a few different organizations and
Nice.
ourselves. But if you want to be a part of the North End Cooperative Market, you can go to northandcoop.com or and join our email list so that you'll get everything. And we also on social media, IG and Facebook.
Awesome.
Awesome.
You know what? I yesterday I said I didn't say I didn't do anything, but yesterday I went to a slash birthday party slash going away. One of my niece's brothers is going into the service, and the only reason I'm bringing this up was because the family, like I've never met them before. They live in Meriden, was so welcoming. And it just, sometimes you don't know what you're going into when you don't know the people. You go for your family, your side. Let me tell you, those people out in Meriden, and I apologize for not remembering their names. Yesterday was an awesome event.
Nice.
The way they treated us, the hospitality. They had people there from Maryland. They had people there from New York. And that's love.
Nice.
Like, that is just love. And all they kept saying, we're family now. We're family now.
Yeah.
So
nice.
it's just awesome to stay connected. Stay connected with people.
Yeah.
Get out. And sometimes I don't want to get out, because I wasn't going to go. My niece is like, we were going to the store. Next thing I know, I'm in Meriden.
That's what we do.
I think she kidnapped me, y'all.
Yeah,
I think she kidnapped me, but it was a fun time. I say that to say we just, get out there. We don't never know who we gonna rub elbows with, who we gonna meet, or what we gonna enjoy. So get out there, go meet Sean on a Tuesday if you can.
Yeah. Come on out,
or go to the community garden. I need to get out there and do stuff like that. I gotta
out.
get a little bit more involved in what's going on around me. Okay.
All right, so let's read our affirmation.
We'll read our affirmation really quick.
Yes.
Okay, so today is April 21st. It says, let me control your mind. The mind is the most restless, unruly part of mankind. Long after you have learned the discipline of holding your tongue, your thoughts defy your will. Long after you have learned the discipline of holding your tongue, your thoughts defy your will and set themselves up against me. Man is the pinnacle, my creation, and the human mind is wondrous complex. I risk all by granting you freedom to think for yourself. This is God's privilege, forever setting you apart from animals and robots. I make you in my image, procrastinately close to deity, Deity. I'm not pronouncing it right.
Dietary.
Deity.
Yeah.
Though my blood has fully redeemed you, your mind is the last bastion of rebellion. Open yourself to the radiant presence, letting my light permeate your thinking. When my spirit is controlling your mind, you are filled with life and peace. Awesome. Remember,
Amen.
we are not robots. AI.
We are not robots. Exactly. We are not. All right. So this is awesome. So we can't wait for you to see our guest today.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So stay tuned.
We'll be right back.
Hey. Oh my goodness. Today's episode is going to be amazing because it is on a topic that you probably would not even think about for us. But it's about health and wellness. And we're going to be talking about mushrooms.
Yeah,
and
the benefits of.
Yes, we have a guest today. He doesn't know that he's my brother already.
He knows now.
He knows now, right? And we met not too long ago. We met when you first opened. This is Patrick Blanchette.
Yes,
Blanchette. Thank you. After I said it 50 times, right? Blanchette. So before we get started, we're going to do breathing, and then we'll introduce you a little bit, and then you go into who you are, and then we'll go from there.
Yes.
All right. So we sit flat, our feet flat, and we rub our hands together to conjure up that energy. And then we're going to inhale through our nose, hold it for 4 seconds, and then exhale through our mouth. And when we're inhaling the intent for today's conversation. And we're going to exhale all that doesn't serve us. All right, ready? We're going to do it 3 times. Okay. One more. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So one of the things that Patrick said when we were talking about the oils and how we do it, he said, "You guys use oils and I use mushrooms."
Right.
So yeah, all right, all right. So Patrick is the owner and founder of Union City Farms. It's a mushroom farm in Prospect, Connecticut. Prospect,
Yes.
yes, in Prospect, Connecticut. And man, oh man, the first time when we saw that, we walked in, and the first thing I said is, "Would you be on the podcast?" This was over a year ago already. And he's like, "Listen, I just opened, so I don't have
Look,
the
not yet,
capacity
not yet.
Pump the
to
brakes.
do that." Yeah. And so I went in again the other day, yesterday, matter of fact. Went in again yesterday, and it was amazing. Always a great conversation. Your hair was long the first time when I went.
Yep. I chopped it all off. I had a beard too. I don't know if you had the beard back then, but
yeah. So I am so happy to have you here. Thank you,
thank you
because
for having me.
I asked him like, "Would you be on the podcast? Could you come tomorrow?" He was like, "Matter of fact, yeah, I could." So I'm
Nice.
so happy you're here.
Nice.
Yeah, well, thank you again for having me.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what made you go into mushrooms. Why mushrooms?
Right.
Right.
Okay. Sure. So, I guess it started with my employment with corporate America. I was sitting behind a desk watching my soul leave my body
Wow.
for a decade.
Wow.
And I was I was good at what I did, but I came across this girl that I dated for a little while, and she was a mindfulness coach. And I've never meditated, I've never done any of that inner work before. And she kind of opened me up to that. And so I started to kind of dive into that and ask the deeper questions of what I really want out of life. Really, what am I doing here, right? And I quickly came to the answer that sitting behind a desk was not for me. So I took a leap of faith. I knew what I didn't want to do, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I left that job, and I found this property, and I loved gardening. So I just kind of used it as like my therapy and just started building the biggest garden that I possibly could.
Wow.
I had severance pay from my employment, so I kind of coasted on that for a little bit, but I really didn't know what I was doing. I knew what, like I said, I knew what I didn't want to do. So throughout this process of building this garden, I quickly realized after doing the math that it's going to take me an awful lot of tomatoes to pay my mortgage. So I started looking into cash crops, things that I can do that were a little bit more niche that maybe there was a market for. So I started looking into like goji berries and ginseng and horseradish and like weird things kind of out of the ordinary, right? And microgreens came into my forecast. And microgreens, for anybody that doesn't know, is essentially a sprout. So a lot of times you can find alfalfa sprouts or pea shoots in the stores. But there is a whole world of microgreens. Essentially, you can almost turn anything into a microgreen.
Yeah.
And they are highly nutritious because all their nutrients are concentrated in their sprout form instead of having to grow into a full plant. So when you cut it at that sprout form, you're getting all those nutrients. So I was big into health and big into food, and farming and gardening was kind of just always in my repertoire. And microgreens came up, and I'm like, I could do this. This is something that I could do. So I dove in hard. I got to the point where I was comfortable enough doing them that I wanted to start a business. It was going to be a microgreen business. That was going to be my cash crop, and I'm still going to do the tomatoes and the cucumbers and the eggplants, stuff like that. But I needed something that was going to be sustainable to pay my mortgage, right? So I dove in and I started researching other microgreen farmers in the area and inviting them over and seeing their product and seeing their labels and their packaging and how they deliver and all that good stuff. And I was talking to this one guy. We were out in the back on my farm, and we were looking at the crops and everything. And I'm like, hey, listen, the only reason that you're here is because I'm picking your brain because I want to do what you're doing. And he goes, man, the whole market for microgreens is so saturated because it's not rocket science. Once you figure it out, you can do a lot of different varieties. He's like, but, if you can get into mushrooms, there's a huge niche for mushrooms. And I'm like, man, this is really ironic because as I was going through knowing that I wanted to farm or wanted to garden, I went through a whole bunch of documentaries and information and research about the agricultural industry and food in general and how it actually gets to our table. And that was eye-opening enough for me to change the way that I consume
Thought
food.
about it.
And that made me plant-based. And so I was eating mushrooms almost every single day, but I was only eating the ones that you could find in the store because
Right.
mushrooms are a good meat replacement. So I took that comment and I kind of researched it, and I found this whole world of mushrooms, that cultivated mushrooms that nobody's doing. And there's all these beautiful, I mean, there's pink ones, there's gold ones, there's blue ones, there's, I mean, all these different colors and shapes and sizes and textures and medicinal benefits. And I'm like, what is this world? Like, I feel like I found like a buried treasure or something. And so I started researching as much as possible, and then I started kind of dabbling with growing my own. And the first mushroom that I ever grew was in my bathroom. It kind of sounds weird, but I just grew it in my bathroom, and I fell in love with the process. Once they start to grow, it's not like growing a tomato plant where it takes 6 to 8 months for you to get the
Right.
fruit from. Once they start to grow, within a week or two, you're harvesting the mushrooms. So you can, if you stare at them long enough, which sometimes I do, you can almost see them growing, which is
Yeah.
amazing. And from a culinary background, it was just like, it was love at first bite. Let's just call it that, because all the different flavor, like the flavors and the textures, and I can use the mushrooms to mimic the meat dishes that I used to really enjoy growing up. And I know that they're more flavorful and they're better for me and they're better for the earth. It's a win-win, you know?
And, all
So-
right. Go
Go ahead. No.
Go
No.
ahead. Nope. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so you have a mushroom farm. Is that what you,
Yes.
is that the correct terminology?
It's mushrooms and microgreens, yeah.
Okay.
But it's mainly mushroom.
And there are a plethora of mushrooms, and I don't know them all. Like Sean said, there are some common ones. We know the white ones. We know the portobellas,
Yep.
oyster.
Lion's mane.
Yeah.
Another one.
Well,
It just became,
right.
and you can't get them in the regular grocery
Grocery.
store.
That's what I was
Yep.
getting ready to say.
Yeah.
How
You'll
many
probably
do you
see
have?
that.
Like, do you know, or how
I
many do you?
Mine are always changing. I have around 15
Oh,
different
okay.
varieties all together, but I do different ones at different times of the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Lion's mane's a
Yep.
staple. Everybody wants lion's mane. That's the mushroom for your brain health. So
Okay.
a lot of people are taking lion's mane in some form or another, in supplement form or in tincture form, or some way to get it into them every single day. But eating the mushroom, it's actually more resemblant of seafood than it is of a mushroom. So I have people that come in
Okay.
that don't like mushrooms, and they love lion's mane. And then the
Oh.
people that are like mushroom fanatics, they're like, lion's mane? I don't want
Yeah.
to eat that. You know, it's funny to see the contrast there.
And I did read that what you just said, that mushrooms are a good health source, and I think people miss out on that because a lot of people say, I don't like the flavor, or they don't have a flavor. So there's so many varieties. Talk to using them, like you just said, in place of meat. Or in place of seafood. Like I don't eat meat, but I eat seafood. So sometimes I do just what you said. When I don't want to have a piece of fish or shrimp, but I'm portobello, oyster, so I got to kind of
Expand your horizon.
yes, definitely. After this, I'm coming to your farm.
Yeah, yeah. So lion's mane is an interesting one. It is the most popular mushroom that I do, not only for the health benefits, but the people that love it, they love it.
Okay.
They really, really love it. So I've had people, I remember I did an Easter sale last year, and I did a big sale on lion's mane because I had a lot at that time, and people were buying it. And they were making the lion's mane crab cake, where basically you tear the mushroom. It's like this flaky, big, white snowball of a mushroom, and you tear it off into pieces, saute it, and then you form your patty like you would a crab cake. So your mayo, breadcrumbs, whatever you're using as a binder, a little bit of Old Bay seasoning in there. And I've had people come in and they make those patties and they feed them to their family, and they don't tell them it's
even
not
know.
crab.
That's
They
right.
Wow.
don't even know.
You can't.
Wow.
It's uncanny. It really
Nice.
is.
Nice.
Lion's mane's very versatile. So a popular recipe that a lot of people are doing now is to make it into a lion's mane steak, which is pretty unbelievable. And you wouldn't believe, if I showed you the video that I have of me making it into a steak, you're like, that's not a mushroom.
It's gonna look like a steak.
It looks exactly
I don't
like
like
a steak.
No.
It's just
But
it's
for
funny
those
how you
people-
can
Yeah,
mimic.
yeah.
how you
It's
mimic.
for
You
those-
know, they
No,
have
yeah.
like the Impossible Burgers and the Beyond Meat burgers
Yeah,
and
it's-
things
yes.
that are mimicking, meat dishes. So
Right.
Are not
sometimes
good.
for me, like when I transitioned from a meat diet or a regular American diet to going plant-based, a lot of that was mental, and it was trying to do that transition because my body had the cravings for these things that I've been feeding myself for
Right.
years. So having those Impossible Beef burgers, and any other mimicking dishes that I had growing up, it was the easier way to transition.
Yes.
So
So
some people need
we all
that.
tried that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I want to back up just a little bit because you said, once you started learning about food and in the way it's manufactured and agricultural and things like that. Because one of the things someone said the other day to me is you can educate someone every day, all day long. It's the habit that needs to change. So I know you have to have that mindset, like you said. Let's talk about mindset and how you decided, you know what, I need to make a change for myself, for my health, and for the, like you said earlier, for the planet. You know what I mean? So what made you, what was the eye opener when, well, you said it kind of, you said you met this woman that was a mindful coach or a mindful,
That was the slingshot that sent me in the right direction.
okay,
Yeah.
because you didn't know why you were feeling the way you were feeling. You just knew it didn't feel good to be behind the desk and all of that, and then be unhealthy and so on and so forth. And then you met this person that opened your world up to something else, just like expanded the possibilities. And then from there, you went into microgreens and things like that. But it was an easy transition for you because I'm thinking that it is because of the way it sounds, that it might have been easy. But talk about the struggles that you did have with changing one thing at a time, you know what I mean? Or going from that, I'm not going to eat steak anymore, or I'm not going to have, you know what I mean? I'm not going to have those things. Talk about that in a little bit, because a lot of people think that here you are and it was just easy, but we know it's not easy. It's a journey.
It wasn't easy at the same time. When I started kind of looking into the agricultural industry and looking into farming, there's a whole bunch of documentaries, and a lot of them are geared towards being vegan or being plant-based. And there is a lot of eye-opening information in those documentaries that once you see something, you can't unsee
You can't unsee it.
And that stayed with me. And so I remember in the beginning, once I watched a couple of those, I was still kind of eating meat, but something was changing. I was like, I can't look at this the same anymore. So it was kind of a lot of different things at once too. So I did suffer from anxiety quite a bit in my old employment. Me asking those questions about what I really want out of life and what am I doing here, they kind of propelled me to look into all this information about what I'm putting into my body. And when I was experiencing a lot of that anxiety, I noticed all the crap that I was putting, excuse my French, but crap that I was putting in my body was not serving me, you know? So I started to look into food and sources of water and what am I ingesting? What's really going in? Am I getting good in, good out? And at the time I wasn't. So I dove into, being healthy and having healthy practices and a healthy mindset, and realizing that the quality of your thought and how you look at yourself and how you talk to yourself are all extremely important things to do on a day-to-day basis. And if we're not doing that, well, you're not going to get the outcome that you want. So,
And it's also connected to food.
it is.
People don't understand food is mood food.
Food is mood.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Food is medicine.
Definitely.
Food is medicine.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Okay.
We have a lot of conditions these days and things that people are going through, and they're just stuck in the ways of just going to the doctor, and the doctor tells you you need to take this or you need to take that. And luckily now what I've seen over the last few years, a lot more holistic approaches, a lot more ways to treat conditions with not only food but with meditation, with prayer. I mean, look at all the stories about people that are overcoming cancer through meditation. Like, that's amazing.
With their minds.
The power of belief, the power of intention, like we talked
Exactly.
about, and having that clarity and that focus and keeping that on the forefront instead of being consumed by the negative thought or, what if this happens, or living in that state of fear. Get that out, experience it.
Kind of
Yeah,
bring
it's
it
there.
back. I think we had it years ago, and then now, society taking over. Like you said, we move so fast,
Yeah.
junk in, junk out, and now we're trying to say, I got to take care of me.
But
Get
we're programmed.
90%.
Yeah, definitely
what I
that.
mean?
But
Yeah.
we're turning that corner to
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
people want to take care of themselves. Like you said, your farm wouldn't be profitable if it wasn't for people wanting to change. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a good thing too.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, years ago, you probably would say to somebody, I'm going to make a burger out of a mushroom, and they'd be, I'm not eating that.
Right,
Exactly.
You know, so
Exactly.
yeah.
But you know, it's crazy because, like you said, with agriculture and big farmer, you know, big farmer,
Yeah.
agriculture, all of that, they can't make any money when people start waking up.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
when-
whole other topic
it's a
right
whole other topic, right? And so we're not gonna go down that rabbit hole right now.
Controlling the masses.
Exactly,
Yeah,
controlling
definitely.
the masses, and when this is another reason why we're doing the podcast, it's like, you know, just to give people other ways of thinking. You know what I
Educating
mean?
people.
Yeah, just planting the seeds and just saying, you know, you don't have to do it your way, my way, her
Yeah.
way.
Here's a suggestion, though.
Here's a suggestion. Have you
Yeah.
thought about, you know,
Yes.
have you thought about, you know, you've been on your medication for 30 years and you
And
still have
nothing's
high blood
changed.
pressure.
Right.
You still feel the same.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So when you're looking at the things like mushrooms or whatever, and mushrooms, if you know how to pick them in the woods, it's even, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
it's cheaper to eat it's cheaper to eat good for your body, you know? It's cheaper. But we won't go down
And
that
if it's
rabbit hole
coming
either.
from Mother Nature instead of a laboratory, what do you want to
Exactly.
Because we are made of the earth.
Yeah.
And mushrooms were here before all of us.
And they were here before we were. Okay, so I'm sorry. I know I took us down another road.
all right.
But at the same time, so let's go back to the mushrooms, the different types of mushrooms that you grow, and some of the medicinal factors. And then say, you know, I'll throw a diagnosis out there, right? And you say this mushroom or that mushroom.
Okay.
Okay, we'll
see.
play this
see.
game a little bit, right?
My knowledge is a little bit more on the culinary side of things, but I
Yeah,
do have some
yeah,
experience
on the
with the medicinal as well. Yeah.
Right. So what I mean by that, you know what I mean? The culinary side is great because people think, you know, we just keep going back to the mindset. I'm getting a little stuck here, but we keep going back to the mindset.
Mushrooms can be a mindset.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you know, and it's like, okay, so talk more about what type of mushrooms there are out there that you grow that you wouldn't normally find in the grocery store.
Yes.
Yep.
And then in their medicinal or their benefits, not medicinal, you know, but the benefits from a couple of things, and then how you cook them.
Okay. So I'll start with the lion's mane because that's the most popular one. Lion's mane is the mushroom for your brain health, so cognitive function, memory, repairing damaged nerves, promoting hair growth. All the mushrooms, pretty much for the most part, have properties for bone support and immunity support. But lion's mane is the one that really goes into your neural network and kind of reconnects certain things that have been blocked for years. And it's really, there's a ton of research behind it. It's an amazing, powerful adaptogenic mushroom. So as far as cooking it, it is super versatile. It's a very mild mushroom flavor, so it likes to absorb any spices or sauces or anything that you put into it. So you can make it. I've made it into steaks. I've made it into sausages. The lion's mane crab cakes. I made lion's mane clam chowder, which is really nice. It's unbelievable. You can even make it into a burger, lion's mane burgers. So it's I remember first cooking it, the first 4 or 5 pounds that I cooked with, I'm like, what is this? Like I couldn't figure it out because it has a 94% moisture content. So it's a lot of water in the mushroom.
Yeah.
So when I cook mushrooms, I really cook them down and get all the water out of them to get the nice meatiness of the mushroom that's left behind. But with lion's mane, you kind of want to ease back a little bit because you want to retain some of that moisture in the mushroom so you can kind of get that seafoody type feel, like the bite that you would have from like a lobster or a crab meat. So that was a little hard for me to kind of overcome in the beginning because I cooked all the mushrooms the same. And I realized going down this path with my culinary background that not all the mushrooms are the same and you can't cook them all the same, you know? So oyster mushroom is probably the second most popular, and that's just because too I do a wide variety of oysters. So you can sometimes find oysters in the store. Usually once people come to my store, they don't buy oysters from the regular store because they're all kind of
You can taste the difference.
You could taste the difference. You can see.
I was getting ready to say, you could see it. Well, I haven't seen them from years. I've gone to the grocery store to buy them, and I look at them, you know, and I could tell.
They look sad.
These been sitting here for
Yeah.
But you know,
And you don't know how many people pick them up and, wipe their face
yes,
with them. And
yeah.
whatever
It's
else
like
they're
what?
doing.
I don't want that. Yeah.
Don't give
Yeah.
me that visual.
But oyster mushrooms are a staple because there's so many different varieties. Like I said, there's pink ones, there's gold ones, there's blue ones, there's Italian oyster,
Wow.
there's brown ones,
Didn't
white
know.
ones. So there are all different sizes as well and textures to those. People really, when I show them a pink mushroom, they're like, what? They're like,
I was like that when I first time I seen one. I was like,
Were you?
Yeah, pink. It was pink. I was like,
I have
where'd that come from?
People come up to the farmer's market and they touch the mushroom. They're, oh my goodness, it's real. I thought it was a statue. And I'm like, no, it's not only real, you can take it home and eat it.
And you can eat it. Yeah.
But they're very beautiful. They're like, I growing up as an art student and getting out of art, and then this is kind of it's reinvigorating my artistic creative side and just the way I can present the mushrooms in my shop or at the farmer's market and show people how beautiful they are, and having that excitement where people buy produce. And that was me in the grocery store. If I see something that's fresh, beets was always a thing for me. If I look at the beets and the beets have nice beet greens, you're coming home with me.
Yeah.
So if I can present that same experience where people get excited about the food, they're going to bring that excitement into their dishes and into their
Absolutely.
tables and their families.
Yes,
So
yes.
so oysters is a big one. Oysters are really good for regulating blood sugar and cholesterol as well. And king oyster, also called king trumpet, is also great for inflammation. So
Okay.
Is that the one? Is that the one they make the scallops out of?
yes.
Okay.
That's a popular one. So king oyster is used to make the mushroom scallops. Yep.
Do you got one for aging?
For aging,
Yeah.
all of them.
All of them,
All of
right?
them.
Yeah, all of them.
All of them. Yep.
I'll be at your store tomorrow.
Right. What else do we have? So another medicinal one that I really, really like that I do not cultivate, but I do forage for is reishi mushroom. Reishi is, in Chinese medicine, it's deemed the mushroom of immortality. So it has another powerhouse adaptogenic mushroom.
Is there a
like
reason?
lion's
Not to
mane.
interrupt you. Is there a reason you don't sell that one, or
That I've grown it before, but it is a very slow grower,
Okay.
and it takes up a lot of space. So
Okay.
I need to get different mushrooms in there to kind of take up the space, and I just don't
gotcha.
have. I have
All
a
right.
very small farm right now. It's probably going to grow after this year, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
But reishi, it does take up a lot of space.
Okay.
And it's so abundant in the wild, and I'd rather have the benefits from Mother Nature than mimicking it and cultivating it.
Gotcha.
If I can find it in the wild and turn it into a tincture or turn it into some type of supplement that I can help people with, that to me is going to be
Better.
the best.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
But reishi is an amazing mushroom, especially for people with anxiety and depression, because it's a really good way to calm the nervous system. It is also just great. It's great for that fight or flight response and just calming everything down. So that is one of my favorite mushrooms. It has, reishi and chaga and lion's mane. All three of those. Well, I'll get the chaga in a minute, but all three of those, I have people come in to the shop and they claim that they've had stories of family members or friends that have taken one or all of those mushrooms, and they've beaten cancer, and they've beaten these neurodegenerative diseases and immune disorders and things like that, and all these different amazing stories. So what I know and my knowledge base and my research is just a fraction of what these things could really do. Chaga is another powerhouse. So chaga is another wild foraged mushroom. And that is a mushroom that grows off of a birch tree. It grows off multiple different trees, but birch tree is really where you want to get all the medicinal benefits out of the mushroom. And chaga, it doesn't look like any other mushroom. It's just like, if you ever see, they call them burls. It's a tree, and then all of a sudden on the tree there's this big round
clump, or looking
clump.
like
Yeah.
I think I've seen it before. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if in pictures or in real life, but when you start talking about it, I kind of imagined it. I didn't know that was a mushroom.
So a lot of them are burls, which is just kind of the tree. I don't know the explanation with the burl, but it's just kind of doing something. The chaga, yeah, there you go. Chaga, it grows out and it's got a darker color to it. But when you crack it open, it's got this beautiful, almost like chocolate.
I would
looking,
never
like-
have known
Yep.
that was a mushroom.
And that is anti-everything, anti-cancer, antiviral, anti-tumor, antifungal. I mean, it has amazing properties. And you make it into a tea. So chop
Oh,
it,
wow,
take it
a
off
tea?
the tray, yep, and then you steep it. and it has this nice earthy undertone. So I like to make a chaga chai with it, which is just chaga, and then I'll throw in cinnamon and nutmeg and allspice.
I can hear it. I
And
can
when
taste
I
it now.
I serve it with little maple syrup because they both came from the woods. They're happy together in my
Right,
cup. So
right.
I
That's
like
funny.
that. Happy
Yeah.
together in my cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize to you because usually we have tea.
Tea.
oh, that's okay.
Cornbread.
That's all right.
Yeah.
And I ran out, and when I went to get the water, I didn't turn the tea kettle on. I was like, forget it.
It's okay.
All right. Yeah, but chaga is another very, very popular mushroom. I can never have enough of it. People are always wanting more of it. And the good thing about chaga is when you have a small container of it or a small piece of it, you can actually keep reusing it. So you can get a lot of uses out of it. Kind of like the same way you can with tea. And a lot of people don't do that. A lot of
No,
people
they
do
use
the,
it that
the
one
one and
thing,
done.
that's
And that's
it,
it.
yeah.
But there's still some goodies in there.
Yeah.
And if you keep doing it or if you steep it longer or sometimes if you cold steep it overnight like they do cold brew now in the
Yeah,
fridge, you know,
yeah.
it's another way to kind of draw out everything so you get the most out of everything.
Nice.
Yeah. So chaga, reishi, lion's mane. What do we cover? King trumpet, oyster mushrooms, the chestnut mushrooms. Chestnut mushrooms are probably the earthiest mushroom that I do as far as the cultivated ones. They're a little different. The stems have a nice little crunch to it, kind of like asparagus has that snap to it. But they're my mushroom for like soups or stews or gravies or sausage, just to kind of stretch out.
I
that
made it
earthy
in a stir
flavor.
fry last night.
Yeah, nice. I
gonna-
did.
That she didn't share with anyone.
I
so-
apologize.
That's
It was
all
so
right.
good. I ate it all.
Nice, nice. I make it into a chestnut mushroom seasoning just to kind of stretch out that flavor because there's a lot of people that come in, they're like, I don't like mushrooms. And I'm like, well, what is it? Is it the flavor or is it the
Yes, you hear that a
is it
lot.
the
I don't like
texture?
mushrooms. Yeah.
It's the texture for a lot of people.
Yeah, it's the texture.
But they want the medicinal benefits. They want that. Sometimes they like the flavor. Like people
Yeah.
like the cream of mushroom soup, but they don't like the chunks of mushroom in the cream of mushroom soup.
Okay.
You know. So
I love
the chestnut
mushrooms.
mushroom making it. Oh, that makes two of us.
I
yeah.
love
well, three of
mushrooms.
us.
Yes, three of us. Yeah.
But the chestnut mushroom seasoning or blending it up, or sometimes people just put them in their smoothies and get the goodies out of it that way. But different
Oh,
ways to
see?
kind of get mushrooms into your diet.
I make smoothies every day, and I didn't even think about throwing a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if
Now
you
we-
mask it with like berries or something, you're not even
Yeah.
gonna taste it. But if you want to taste it, I don't know how good a mushroom milkshake would be. But
well, if they're making it a mushroom coffee, like the
Yeah,
powdered mushroom
that's
coffee,
popular.
you can do the same thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
The same thing with it.
mushroom
Okay.
teas, mushroom coffees.
Yeah. Okay.
So, Sean said she visits you recently in Prospect. Tell us where you're at and hours of operation.
So I'm at 12 Union City Road, Prospect, Connecticut. It is right next to the Dollar General in downtown Prospect. And the hours right now are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday from 12 to 6. Saturdays are 10 to 4. Occasionally, I will have an opening like on a Wednesday, like a flash sale or like a Sunday. But those are the staple days.
Okay. Do you have a website? Like how would
Website is in progress right now. So
Okay.
right now, everything is really done on Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Easy. So
Gotcha.
Union City
Nice.
Farm. Yeah.
Nice.
Awesome. So you guys definitely have to check them out if you've never had mushrooms before, or if you're afraid of just buying them or whatever. He has. I mean, he tells you exactly what
to
you're
do with them?
buying, and when you go and you ask, what is this and what is that?
Yeah.
I mean, a plethora of information, and I loved it because I'm one that will ask questions constantly. You know what I mean? So just ask questions, do some research on the mushroom. If you're having some type of ailments, he already talked about that, so we don't have to do this, that, you know what I mean? You
Yeah.
already talked about it. But look up what mushrooms are good for whatever ailment you may be dealing with. And then check out Union City Farms to see if he has it. And I would really, really challenge you to look into those things, because if you've been taking medication for 30 years and you still have high blood pressure, something's not working. Something's not working. So you got to think about that. And if you're a person that's been on different meds for anxiety or depression, it sounds like mushrooms is like the way to go. You know what I mean? It sounds like mushrooms are the way to go. Let's talk about that just a second, not long, right? Just a second, because we don't want people to think that disclosure.
We are not doctors.
Right, we are not doctors.
We have no medical education.
No medical. We are not talking from a medical aspect. We're talking about from experience and things like that. So when we talk about the medicinal benefits of mushrooms when it comes to mental health. You know, can you share a little bit about that? And also, there is a documentary called Psychedelics, I believe.
Psychedelica.
Yes, Psychedelica. Check that movie out because that movie will go into why you can use them. And some people use them for the wrong reasons and some, just like anything else. But yeah, check that documentary out. But yeah, if do you know of anything, or I know we talked about how you used them a little bit for anxiety and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a different, I guess, world of mushrooms than what I cultivate. And those are the psilocybin mushrooms that a lot of people use for treating anxiety or depression. If you think about it in terms of like a habit, right? So we form habits, or like the example that you used with people on medication for 30 years, right? So your body gets used to a certain amount of input, a certain amount of stimulus, a certain environment, and you form yourself, your being around what's around you. So when we have habits that form, or we have ways of thinking that have accumulated from years of doing the same thing over and over and over, it's really hard to break that habit. Definitely. Like same thing like transitioning from a regular diet to a plant-based diet. But we have to be open to that. And, a lot of it has to do with intention, right? And having that clarity and having that mindset of shifting and wanting to shift. And it could just be the placebo effect, right?
And that's it.
But, it's putting good in. And the mushrooms have the power to do that in my eyes. So there are amazing qualities to the psilocybin mushroom if you use them with intention. If you're using them in a sense of, oh, let's go out and party and blah, 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 you're not going to get what you want to get out of it. Right. But if you have the intention of, okay, I have this condition, I've tried multiple different ways to heal this condition and I can't do it, I need help, I'm looking for help, somebody give me help. And you take the medication with that sense, with that intention, it's life-changing.
It's life-changing.
It is life-changing. Yeah. But again, doing it responsibly.
Definitely.
And under the care of someone that knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
Not, just
your neighbor
arbitrarily.
friend.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Just like with supplements and supplements and things like that. You buying supplements over the counter is not helpful, because people are just buying it because someone said, as opposed to having
doing
that
their
intention,
research.
right? Having that intention, finding someone that knows what they're doing, and
Educating
so on and
yourself.
so forth, and educating yourself before you try anything new. But I just wanted that to be said, to say for someone out there to start doing research on it for themselves, especially if they have not had any relief.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If you haven't had any relief, this is when people go, oh, you're vegan, or you're this, or you're that, and no, it's not a label. It's the lifestyle change. It's like you said, with habits, right? One of the things I always talk about when I'm coaching is, when we talk about habits, they've done research on how long it takes to break a habit and how long it takes to make a habit, right? And so we think it's 21 days. No. We think it's 66 days. No. It takes over 254 days for someone to really change and keep a habit going. You know what I mean? To develop a new habit. And so when you talked about, it's a habit for the things that we do, that we have to be deprogrammed, we have to unlearn, right, to make room for learning something new,
Right.
And people don't understand that. But turn the TV off.
Turn
the TV off, right?
If you are going to watch TV, watch something that you can
that's going to be right.
Yeah.
That's going to encourage you and feed you. Yes, that's going to, because I tell people, I don't like to watch movies that are not feel good. I'm a feel good kind of girl. Yeah. You know what I mean? Give me something that's going to make me feel good. But yeah, turn the TV off. Stop scrolling with your thumb. And things like that, unless you're looking specifically.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can scroll with your thumb as long as you're trying to educate yourself on something.
Right, but looking for, those things.
Positive reinforcements.
Yeah. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. This is a
Awesome.
great conversation.
It was.
It was.
Thank you so
Thank
much for
you.
coming.
Great
Thank you.
conversation.
And I'm coming to see you.
All right.
Yeah.
And I have some other questions. I won't do it online. I have
Okay.
some other questions because I don't want to put you on the spot like I did yesterday.
That's all right. That's all right.
But I'm curious about the farming piece. I'm curious about that. And in the foraging, I was just talking. We walked through Hubbard Park. Not Hubbard Park. What is it? What's the park in Naugatuck?
Hop Brook.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
Hop Brook.
That's where I
we
found
walked through.
reishi mushroom.
Okay,
It's
so
one of my spots.
oh really?
Yeah.
So I didn't see any mushrooms. I didn't notice anyway.
I was in the woods. I was off the trail.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And so I was saying to my girlfriends, I said, I want to learn foraging. You know what I mean? Because and that we saw something that looked like mint. It wasn't mint. One of my girlfriends had the plant identifier,
Yeah.
so it wasn't mint. But one looked like it looked. Never mind. I don't remember what it was. But one looked like oregano, and the other one looked like mint. But it wasn't either. But they were still herbs that were edible. But I never heard of those herbs. I don't remember what they are right this second. But
There's a ton right in your lawn.
I believe it. I
Yeah.
believe it. But that's another conversation we're
Yeah.
going to have after this because I want to learn foraging. I was going to do a online class. I said, but that's not going to do me any good. I need to
gotta
be.
get out there.
I
You gotta
need-
be
Yeah, I need
outside.
my hands in it.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. But back to listen. You guys, just this
Union.
conversation, yes.
Go
it's
visit.
Union City Farm in Prospect, not far, it's right next door. Go check him out.
Go check them out.
We'll have the hours and everything on the in the description, and yeah, go learn about a mushroom.
Go meet a fungi.
There
show,
you go.
Show me the fungi.
There
There's
you go.
also a documentary on Netflix on fungi.
Yes, fantastic
Yes,
fungi. Yeah.
absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
Everyone
I
should watch that.
Right. I saw that not too long ago. I saw that maybe a year ago. It was a while ago. I need to watch it again. But yeah, you want familiarize yourself with that because it needs to be on your plate. It needs to be on your
They're
plate.
delicious if you know what you're doing with them. And I've learned a lot today.
And if you don't know what you're doing, that's what I'm here for.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Go visit them.
Go
Union
visit.
City and Prospect.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like, subscribe,
And share.